What?
They probably said it was smooth ride, huh?
They did, but you have a part that's still not finished. There's a part that's still not finished because they said it was gravel, right? Is that this spring?
Probably this spring, yeah.
Okay. I guess we could start. Sure. Okay, we're good?
Yes, sir.
Are our mics on? I don't know if they're on.
It's the live screen. Just
You see all on.
They are on? Okay.
Yes.
I just can't hear much out of it. So. Okay. Welcome to our Board of Commissioners work session. We appreciate Ms. Joy Howe being with us. So we will have a roll call. Oh, wait, before we start that, today's date's January 6th, 2026, and it is 10 a.m. So we will have a roll call. We'll start with this end to my left.
To this end on your left is Commissioner Harvey is present.
Okay.
Commissioner Stubbs here.
Okay, and Commissioner Mon is here. So our first agenda item is our Mexican Hat Road issue with Joy. So if you would like to come up to the front, you can present to us, and we will have discussion thereafter.
Okay, hi, Joy Hall, Mexican Hat. So I had sent stuff previously to you so you could kind of see the map. And up there on the top, so back in 2000, well, no, I guess it goes back to 1998. I should have brought paperwork because I don't really know what I'm doing here. But 1998, due to the RS 2477 stuff, the UDOT has kind of taken a lot of, what's that? Do I need to put it down more? Okay, I don't want to be too loud. I can have a booming voice. But so the red roads there on that map, the orange ones that goes down, that's a property line. And the roads in the red is what UDOT claimed through County B roads. And we purchased this, did a title search, nothing showed. I know that in 2014, the previous owner had the county take the signs down. They had gone out there and put signs up, the 2161 road. And the BLM went also at that same time and basically claimed that entire area, thinking it was public land. And they put signage up, you know, camping and hiking here, no hiking there, and this and that. Well, the previous owner became aware of it and had them all taken down. It's like, no, this is not, you know. And so they did. The county took the signs down. That was in 2014. So then push forward. There really traditionally has never been a whole lot of traffic out there. They took it, you know, and they had two people who they did in 2008 when they went around and got everybody talking about this stuff. One of them was Fur Johnson, who worked for UDOT, and the only other person was Pete Steele, who worked for the BLM. And I don't know why that's the best they could come up with, because it seems a little like collusion to me. But they were the only ones that said, "Oh yeah, we've been down there all the time for years and years." And the truth is, I've lived there since 1979, and that just is not even close to the truth. I can see the Hat Rock from my house, from inside my house. And you guys can see this. How many times a day do you gaze at it? I mean, I bet you can't even count how many times you just look out there and see the horse head, right? That's what Mexican Hat is to us who live in Mexican Hat. So it's not like it was way out there and the public was just all over it and nobody knew. We always knew. And so it's a little frustrating, but unbeknownst to us, things happened. Here we are. The county, we went and put a lot of money into this. I don't even have an amount, but well over $100,000 in just trying to make it. People were wanting to camp. And what happened was COVID. COVID happened. And everybody suddenly has an RV. and they were all over this property. And this was mostly in 21. So that's when we said no more and started charging people and started going out there and running them off. And then we also started making camp spots and charging for dispersed camping. So all those little off things that you see are things that we've built just in the last few years. And during the October 2023, the eclipse, we closed the road for 4 days, and from the entire road. And we contacted everybody that we thought we needed to contact. I'm pretty sure I even called UDOT. Now, in 2024, it was that you had to give a written, but you have to understand, we didn't think that this was a B road anyways. So, but I still wanted everybody to know that we were closing it so that, like the economic development, that they wouldn't be pushing people out there, you know. So we advertised it really well, and you know, it just became time to close it. So we did, and is TJ here? We kind of got a little crossways about that because, yeah, now the claim is that UDOT, you know, it's really up to the county and UDOT to, because now there's D roads everywhere, every trail, every footpath, you know, for you guys know what. This was done in 1998, evidently. Nobody had internet. Nobody knew what they did. Now we know. And is it too late to fix it? What is the benefit of giving? Our answer is to take that red, and you can't really see it on there. I drew like a blue line. We are more than willing to. We started that road to finish it and make it to where people can get to the BLM River down there. And there's also hiking trail where they could hike up to the Hat Rock if they so desire. And we're willing to do that, but we want everything in red, please, back. And the benefit to the public is they still have access. Nothing really changes for the public. If we don't get it back, if it's not vacated, then there's no benefit to anybody. As a matter of fact, well, I think it would really hurt the economy in Mexican Hat, for one. I mean, I can't do it's useless land. And Mexican Hat kind of depends on the Hat Rock. I'm going to have to fence both sides. It would be about 3 miles of road that I would have to fence on both sides. And it's not going to be pretty. It's going to have to be, you know, to where people can't walk through it, animals, nothing, you know, and it's going to be very expensive. And it's a thoroughfare. They're going to go through there, and currently they go down there, and you can ask TJ, he was down there last week, that people, they just drive crazy down there. Most of the time, they don't even get out of their vehicles. They turn around, and maybe they snap a picture, and they leave. And the dust is horrendous. I cannot secure my property. That's really the bottom line. Something needs to be done. Help me out. Help me out. Thanks, guys. It's about all I have to say.
So, you were down there last week and drove it, so we probably should hear what your thoughts are on that. And then we'll ask Paul some questions.
Do you want to come to the mic?
Yes,
Thank
please.
you.
So I sent the email to Joanne to all the commissioners and to the attorney about the state of Utah's stance on those 2 roads, where there are 2477. What that boiled down to, I believe in the email, is if they could prove they were used for 10 years prior to 76, then they got that status. One of the reasons they did that status is so that they had public access to the river. Because if you close that road before you hit the BLM property, then the public can't access the river through it. And so in 2477, that was one of the biggest pushes, is to keep public lands open to the public.
247.
Them both are
roads.
2477
It's
roads.
not actually. We could argue about that one, but carry on. I'll tell you in a second.
So there are two roads that the state claimed. They're state claimed 2477 roads, which that's what it does. Is it says they could prove there was public access 10 years prior to 76. Is that right? Let me look at my email I sent you.
It does say that, but these being patented lands, if there was not a road there pre-patent, it can never be a 2477 road afterwards. There's something about that I don't really understand. I've tried to explain it too. Sorry.
And that's something like
It
I told
doesn't matter
Joy.
to us, we're still willing to do that. The river road. I don't want to be that person to cut people off the river. Actually, sometimes I do kind of want to do that, but to be honest, and I also kind of wonder why is it the state, the cities, everybody else can charge somebody to go someplace, but I can't. A private enterprise can't, to charge for parking or access. I mean, look, like the city of Page, it's in Arizona, but still, I'm sure there's places in Utah where, like Horseshoe Bend, they charge people to park and then walk to goosenecks. I used to be able to go out there for free, but anyways, it's another issue. But carry on.
So Joy wants she wants to do a toll road. I'm just kidding.
Well, yes, and he says yes.
And so for what she's saying on if it was a claimed road, that's something that she would have to prove with the state. That'd be an argument that you'd have with the state on that. What I'm saying is this is what the state's done. They claim that as a 2477 road. So that's the historical of it. And that's where the county lies in all the ones that we have looked at. When people have come and said we want to close a 2477 road, the state has said no. And so that's what I was telling Joy. It's a hard ask to the state of Utah. So I went down with Joy and we looked at this. So the Blue Road, the proposed route, we looked at it. There is a trail almost where the blue and red connect that go to the river there that comes up and comes to the Hat Rock. There's a little pull out that used to be where people would park that they've blocked to where you can't. But we talked about in a proposal of actually fixing that. It's on private property. It's not that part. Fixing that a little bit so if people wanted to hike to the rock, they would still have access to the rock without having to drive down the lower red road. Excuse me.
That's your water right there.
Oh, thank you. When you go across the orange line onto BLM, there's another big shelf pull out that would have to improve a little bit with BLM's blessing. And there's a great vantage point there for pictures.
On BLM property. And that's up there. You're saying there's a trail somewhere where the blue connects into the red.
Okay, so where the blue connects in the red, there's a trail that leaves it and runs up to the rock. Yep.
Okay.
So no,
It's kind of in
it's-
between.
yeah.
You'd have to go further east on that, and I never did hear that you wanted us to provide parking.
Well, so what we
I
talked
don't
about
wanna do that.
with
Sorry.
Billy is to where they could use that. Because if you limit access to the Hat Rock, I think the state's going to really balk at that. So when I was with Billy, we looked at that trail coming up there to where if people wanted to park there and hike up to the rock, they could.
Where
Which
would the
is-
parking lot be exactly?
It would be on if it's on our private
It's-
property. I
it's-
don't want to do it. That's not an option
Okay.
because I can't control people camping there,
so
and I have a campground.
so
Sorry.
so this trail right here, Joy, is the one that Billy had talked about.
Yeah, there's a trail there.
And there's just a little pull out that people, if they park there, they would hike up to the rock.
Rather than driving further.
Yeah, and it's over here. It's right here.
Okay. So
It
this
comes
trail.
up from right here.
So
Yeah.
and
This
they take
this is a camp spot.
they
but it
take
comes
this
out right
trail
there.
here. So that's what Billy, one of his things is they could access the trail right here and hike up to the rock.
Yeah, that's.
And then the big parking lot, the turnaround spot is down here on the BLM.
Yeah, it's right about there.
And it's a really good viewpoint of the rock from this. But
It is. It's really a pretty spot.
so that's when we looked at that, they could still have access to the rock by parking right here and walking up to the rock, but it is on private property. And the main turnaround spot, I mean, it would be a spot that you'd park 3 or 4 vehicles from visiting with Billy about. And that's about what it was to start with before you guys blocked it off. It's just a little teeny spot there. But that, in visiting with Billy on looking at this, when you go to the state and say, hey, we want to close this, they're not going to be that hip to do it. So I'm into, okay, let's give you a different option. So the option to still accomplish the same thing that is being accomplished now, in my opinion, is if the trail right here was accessible, so people could park here to walk up to it, and then this was improved to where people could take pictures, because right now they take pictures right here. Okay, that's where they used to pull in and turn around. They've blocked this off, in the last month or so.
Yeah, and also they take just from the highway. Most
Sure.
of it's from the highway,
But if people do pull down here, this is where they do from the vantage. And so what I looked at with Billy is, okay, what can we do that would accomplish the same thing that's being done now? And the way to do it, in my opinion, is have this improved a little bit to where people could park there. They could still hike to the rock if they wanted, but then improve this parking right here to where they could turn around and take pictures of the rock from it on BLM, and that would accomplish the same thing that this road accomplishes, and then move this road over so you still have access, and then they can have the dustless, not eliminated, because there is a distance from here. And 87% of the time the wind blows out of the south. So if the road is here on the north, it will help so it doesn't dust the people out in the campground. And so, but that's what I visited with Billy, and when we were out on our trip to visit with them about this. So what my proposal was, if you're going to go to the state of Utah and say, hey, we want to close a 2477 road, you better give them an alternative that accomplishes the same thing. The one thing about the secondary 2477 is it starts on private, ends on private.
And what is the secondary? Is it the lower?
It's the lower road. So like I say, it goes to an oil well, and the reason that I think that they kept it open, and they've had the claim to the oil well before they own the property. Am I correct in that? Is there was a gravel pit down there, different things, and I think it guaranteed access. Well, they own it all now. They own everything. They own the gravel pit. They own the oil wells. They own the land. So it changes the dynamic of that lower road. I think if you go to the state and say, this is the alternative plan, but I do think that it would require that parking lot on private property to let them hike that trail to get up there for the state to get.
because I think that would be a deal breaker for me, because I do have, we're surrounded by millions of acres of government public lands. People go out to Valley of the Gods, they camp for free. The only thing I can offer on my property is security, if I can secure it. Maybe some picnic tables, some garbage collection, and maybe some vault toilets in the future. But mostly security is the number one thing. And that, it takes a lot of money to do this, but if you have parking of any kind there, people are going to be camping there, and that just goes against what I feel is correct.
Do you know the place that we?
Yes.
Did you? Were you listening when me and Billy were talking about that there?
Oh, probably
It's
not.
just. It's just a little spot, and that's a place that you could secure to where that's all they could do is park, whether you had a wood fence or any type thing, because it is against a rock cliff, and a rock cliff. And so I guess what I'm saying is, when you look at something like this, and I've only been here for 5 years, but I've dealt with the state on a few issues. they're going to look at that and say, what benefit is it to us to change this? We already have it. We have the access. We have what people want. What does it benefit us to spend any money or any time to change it? And so, in my opinion, if you give them the same that they have, they're more apt to it. If you say, no, we don't want anything on our private property, I'm not sure that the state would even entertain moving it.
But we do need to determine whether private property means anything or not. And because pre-patent, there was not a road down there before they patented in 1923. I have looked up everything that I can on it, and I'm not an attorney, so I don't, it gets a little confusing. But that it does say in here, once patented, the land is no longer public, but once it has to be proven that there was a road, a public access road before it was patented, and this wasn't the deal. So that's not a true 2477 road, which if we had to go forward, in a lawsuit, which I really wouldn't want to do, but I probably wouldn't do it because I would probably just moonscape it all and walk away. Just wait for next 100 years or something. I don't know what I'd do. But that's not a true 2477 rule. But regardless of that, I still want to provide access.
Okay, so
I'm not even
two
arguing
questions is, one, it sounds like we can't make the exact determination. This is a state determination on that road. So I guess it's my thing, if we can't compromise with something else,
right,
then it's going to be a battle. That's where you're going to get into litigation, because the other thing about that is the state of Utah is fighting so hard with that 2477 that anything that would jeopardize that situation, I have a difficult time leaning into, but I feel like a compromise is something that they'd be more agreeable to if we could do
versus
that.
Litigation.
Absolutely.
Well, it's already been litigated. That's the thing. The 2477 went to court. It's been litigated. It's been something that the judges ruled in favor of the state on these. Right, Mitch?
Yeah, I've got some questions. Mainly with the lower red. You call it the secondary road?
Well, it's actually the main road.
Yeah.
When you leave the highway, that's actually the road.
Okay.
The other road up on is when it changes road names and numbers to go down off the hill. So the main one is the oil field road is what it's called,
Okay.
county road.
So on this road, I understand it starts on your property and ends on your property. It doesn't go to the river?
No, that one, not on the South Road.
You'd have to keep part of both of those roads.
Okay, but the public has been using that road because
Depends on who you ask. I mean, they started using it in the late 2000s, and then it died off. Mexican Hat's an overflow place, and always has been from Monument Valley. So we've worked really hard since the 2000s to push tourism in Mexican Hat, and this could very well hurt all of it, which is kind of scary. But
well, here's my thoughts.
Mostly since COVID, they've used it.
Yeah,
that's the answer.
So the public does use and has used that.
We've allowed
road.
them to do it. Yes.
Yeah. Well, the other provision. So you're looking at this under a 2477 analysis.
But there's a 10-year.
Yeah, and it sounds like you have an argument that this may have been, before patent, there was not a road there and so forth. I'm just telling you, I think that would end up in litigation.
Mm-hmm.
I would, with respect to the blue up there, I would like to. I just think you'd be fighting an uphill battle to try and do anything with the 2477 road, because the state and the feds are just, if it's already been designated as 2477, you're going to have a very hard time trying to.
Well, it's a lot of money, and
but there's
in
another
the end,
statute that has to do with the 10-year prescriptive easement. And my concern is mainly with the main road, the south road there. If the public has been using that for 10 years, and there's certain things, it's got to be continuous, and so forth. And the way to get out of it is if the way to stop the use is if the landowner gives notice to the local building or road department, basically TJ, that they want to interrupt that, then you can do that. But I guess I would like to maybe consult with somebody, do some research to find out that if a property owner provides an alternative route on a 24/77 right-of-way that accomplishes the same thing, what's involved with that process, right? So I guess what I'm saying is acknowledging that it is a 24/77 road, but there may be some provisions in there that says, look, if a landowner wants to reroute that road and it accomplishes the same thing, then it's okay to do that. That's what I'd be looking for. That still doesn't help us with so if you close, here's my concern, if you close the main road and the public starts saying, we've been using that road forever and ever, now you've blocked us off from it, they may have a prescriptive right to use that.
And they're claiming that. And I'm very well aware of that. Now I'm pretty well read up on it. And I've done as much research as I can. I've got tons of pictures. I've got a lot of people who actually have lived there for years and years. And we all agreed that there was never a 10-year period where it wasn't closed, that it should not be a prescriptive, because I've lived there since the 70s, and other people there have too. Most everybody before that's already passed, but we can go back to pictures and stuff. And but the main road, the access was to the river. What you're saying now, that South Road, it is the most used road now because they started grading it in 2008, I think, to get to the gravel pit, and they kind of made a deal with Billy Gaines when he had that lease, and the county hasn't graded that. We do it. We have a grader.
Yeah.
But I don't think the county has in a couple of years, have they?
We do it.
The South Road.
Does anybody
I don't
use
know.
that south road to get to their property?
No.
Or anything
No.
like
They
that?
go down there, turn around, and leave.
That's what I'm saying. That one goes
It's kind of useless.
Yeah.
into property
an oil
and
road.
back out.
But it is a 24/77
No.
again.
Yes, it is.
That one is?
They're
To the
both
oil well?
Both of them are.
Commissioner
Both of the red roads are.
Stubbs has some questions for you.
Yeah. They marked everything pretty heavy back then without anybody's knowledge. Sorry, but it was before
I
us, but
I
that
don't
wasn't
have
quite
a
right.
question, I have a comment. Okay, again, for a minute, I'm gonna pretend that I own the land. And right now, as a businesswoman, I'm thinking, okay, I have oil there, I have gravel pit, and probably other things that is there. I'm gonna have traffic moving the oil, and that becomes a business. It's not longer a place that you can go because it's not being used.
Right.
And so to me, this one have more value than just for somebody to go. And usually it's young people that go and like to spend things and do that. So now it becomes a liability if somebody's doing that and trucks are moving out with the oil coming in. So if I own that property, I would be thinking all the ways I can make money, because I'm sure you didn't buy it just to look at it. I'm sure you have business ambitious to use the land, but having people they like to go in their 3-wheelers or 4-wheelers or whatever and spend. That's what happened in Westwater. People go in the middle of the road speeding up and having
Yeah, we have
fun.
issues now with that too.
Yeah,
It's
and
like-
so I think if there's another
Yeah.
way to look at this, it is a business site, that road can be used. Has this road ever been used for moving oil out of there or gravel?
Oh, yeah, all the time. I mean, that's what it's there for. It was never it was just an old oil filled road. And I've got pictures of it from before the county started grading it and stuff. And nobody ever really went out there because it's so hot and miserable. They would go to the river. But
What would it do?
Instagram, the days of Instagram changed that. That's all. It's so recent, you know.
What would it do, Joy, to you if that south road remained open?
I'm done.
So
I'm done.
It's got to be closed.
That's
The south
It's-
road is what she's got.
it's the real problem.
Her
Okay.
RVs and stuff. And so what happens? It's pretty flat. They've tried to put some berms up. So you have that whole thing. That's where the camping that she talks about, that you really can't regulate it. People can just pull off the road and camp. And so she got her campground up on the top, but that lower road is where probably the most of your unauthorized camping and stuff, they go down, they camp off them other little roads that are down there. Billy's went and put berms up on the side of the road.
Well,
to
just
try
since
to,
we
just,
had to
yeah,
close
just
it
barely.
in
but
November.
That's her biggest concern, from what I gather, is to keep people off. And so that's where it's like, okay, we got to build a fence down both sides of it so people can't pull off of the road. Because like from my standpoint, it's people can be on the road. Once they leave the road, then that's where they call the sheriff and say they're trespassing. You know what I mean? That's my jurisdiction.
Right.
Is this little part. Anything outside of on the private property part of it, we don't regulate that. That's where the sheriff office would have to come down and say, hey, you're camping illegally. And that's where she's saying it's harder to regulate from her standpoint.
Just since you were there the other day, we have had some people in razors and stuff just went and tore stuff up, off. You know, it's like, ugh.
Yeah, Commissioner Harvey
I can't
has some
secure it.
comments. Did you say yes? You did.
Smile, would you?
I thought you
Yes.
said yes. Sorry.
Say yes, you did.
He does now.
So serious, guys. You're
You are
impacting
serious.
my stare. I'm gonna bring in a different perspective. It has a lot to do with potential, and maybe we can think together on this sense. So Commissioner Stubbs one day changed her statement for us because we're really good at saying we used to be. We used to be very good at saying we're the poorest county in the state. And I hate that.
Yeah.
But Commissioner Stubbs one day said we are the county with the richest potential. And that's where my thoughts are right now, because as you've said, it's been a struggle, especially during COVID, you're kind of like the middle stepchild to Monument Valley in a sense, and you want to show the world Mexican hat also has its glory. And in that sense, there could, if you'd like, to explore maybe from an economic development perspective, something to offer the public moving forward, which is a few things. I mean, it's going to take planning, and I'm sure what the county has is an economic development department. We've got a good planner, Talia, and it sounds like you've been putting a lot of money, as much money as you possibly can, for your campground. And I kind of see it as almost your business is trying to open lodging as your source of business.
Lodging and
basically lodging because everyone goes out except this one doesn't have a roof. You get to look at the universe as your ceiling, and people like that. I mean, I think in the urban community they've got street lights and they can't see the stars, but here where you're located, they got a beautiful view of that. And that's something I'm sure that can be sold. But my point is, maybe if we're visionaries, like Commissioner Stubbs said, this is an opportunity for counties to work with businesses to be strengthened, and that's where my thoughts are.
I thank you, and we certainly need the county supporting this, or it's not going to go forward.
Right.
And that hurts everybody.
That's
Because Mexican Hat, it's not just this property; it's the town of Mexican Hat too. Because you can see the Hat Rock from town.
and
So-
I think you can sell the idea that come down to our area to gaze at the stars kind of a thing. And I'm glad Talia is here because I was just talking about you, Tolly, in front and behind your back, in fact. But we've got a business owner here that's got a lot of potential for her efforts and bringing more tourism into our neck of the woods, especially Mexican Hat. And I was just mentioning how if she's willing to partner with us to explore some options, because TJ has a point. I mean, when you come to the state with a plan, and you have a plan that says we have a plan to eliminate, well, not to eliminate, but we have a plan to provide alternative access for the public, and here is what we're investing in, and the only ask is the option of eliminating this road because we're working together to focus.
I appreciate all of that. I don't know where that would go. That would be a much later thing, but currently my campground is closed. It's been closed since the 1st of November, which means that I'm losing about $4,000 a month, which isn't much, but I mean, everybody wants. And,
How come it's closed?
Well, because I can no longer secure it. And so I just had to berm everything up. I had the main road.
And with that statement, what you're telling me is no, thank you.
No, I'm saying until I can get it open back up again, or because if I don't get it open, if I don't get that road vacated and go ahead and finish the blue road, because we already started that.
So
before.
can I ask you this
And-
question? If you want to open it again, are you willing to work with the county?
I don't know. It would depend on what that entails. I'm not. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm one of those rugged individuals.
And we can be one of those
Versus
rugged
the
leaders.
warmth collective.
Yeah.
Sorry, but that's the truth.
Yeah.
No
Okay.
such thing as free money, but
Thank you,
I
Madam
need
Chair.
support.
I got
Okay.
my answers.
Commissioner
I need
Stubbs has a question, and then we'll follow up from that.
Yeah, one of the thing that I understand, you come willing to spend the money to fix the Blue Road. Is that something?
Yeah.
You said your personal
We
money.
already started it.
Yeah, and so it's not like you coming to us for that. I think one
No.
way that we can support her is to through a letter where we can say how it's going to hurt the economy of that area if you were to close,
Yeah, we already started
so-
that road. I'll explain a little bit because we figured that it was all ours, that it was unencumbered by anything. So we didn't want to be the people that cut off people from the river. So we attempted to start a road from the top so that we could preserve as much land as ours as we could. And you can't see it, I don't think, in that satellite, but there's a bunch of culverts down there that we bought so that we could fix that road. It's just a little bit more than what it's a lot. It's very costly. But yeah, that was something we were going to do on our own. And then we went ahead and closed because we have We put a lot of money into a roundabout and some other stuff that you can't see on this map, and license plate readers and arms that go up and down automatically and all this kind of fun stuff, and solar, and we have a lot invested in it. And we had to tear it all down because we were told that we couldn't close that road, even though we closed it for 4 days in 2023, which would have negated the 10-year act, even though it was never, it was not a prescriptive easement. And I think litigation would prove that. I'm quite certain. Do I want to go that route, or do we want to make a deal and we just, because ultimately it's a tax base, or do I just moonscape it? What do I do? I mean, there's a lot of gravel. Do I want to be that person?
Yeah,
Or would the county even let me?
I'm not sure exactly how the county, I mean, I think you've heard that the commissioners are more than willing to try and help you.
Yes, it's complicated,
But
it's messy.
And as far as putting in improvements and it's private property, you can do that
That's on
however
me.
you want. If you want to build that blue road up there, that's fine. But the crux of the issue is those are 24/77.
Well, they're B
They've been
roads, yeah.
designated. I'm told they've been designated. I just think your chances of getting them closed because they are 24/77 are slim to none. And I think TJ has basically said the same thing.
If it's
So-
24/77.
If they're 24/77, which
Yeah.
they TJ says they have been
According to the
designated
state's-
that.
According to the state's website, they are.
Yeah. So
According to my patent, they're not, but yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Well-
like, where do we go here?
so that's an issue. The county is more than willing to help you, to maybe write a letter and so forth. But that's basically between you and the state.
It is.
And
And I think what we need is just an okay to go forward and put this in front of this UDOT, right? Is that correct?
No, it's.
Or I don't even know
it's
how it works.
The state attorney general office, there's a process that you go through on it. But it involves a BLM, it involves the landowner to the north of you. Who is that? Is that BLM?
Yeah.
So everybody that's around it, it goes to public hearing, it goes to stuff. I mean, the public can weigh in. We put it out on the thing. I mean, the public can come and say, no, we don't. We want to be able to drive right there. This is where we've always gone. I mean, you get into the public hearing on something like this, like I told Joy, this isn't a typical private property. This is a landmark that people come to see. And so it's a different animal than if it was just a road that went in your property that 15 people a year drove to. But we were there, 45 cars came in the hour we were looking at this. And so it's bigger than,
that many
hey, I
cars
wanna,
in 1 hour.
oh yeah.
So what?
That day,
It's
we
a
were,
mess.
it was cool enough that you could wear a t-shirt and you weren't sweating to death. It's like, this is when I would go look at it. If I was going to go look at it, I'd go look at it in November, December too, because it's actually nice weather down there. But that's what I'm saying. It goes through a process that there's going to be opposition. I guarantee it. You come up with the solution and the alternative, then you might not have as bad. And the state might look at it and say, okay, look, this is why it was a 2477 claim. It's like I said, in my research of it, looking at all the warranty deeds and all the things that have changed, there's a reason that the state does what they do to protect, because not only was it public, but back then a different landowner owned it. They had the mineral rights for the oil. So it protects the Howells to be able to go get it. And that landowner, Nordine, not saying, you can't come through my property. So there's reasons for all this
Except
stuff.
that we built the roads, he didn't.
And now, but my point is now, you own it all.
The
So
mineral rights included.
yes, so they own it all. So when you go, is it a different animal than it was back then? Yes. So are there circumstances that the state might look at and say, these are different than when we had this claim? Because before when did you buy it, 2019?
21.
21.
21.
So before then, it's to protect their interest here, the guy that has the lease on the gravel pit, it's to protect all those rights. It's a different animal today. Those rights are all in the same holding.
It is, but we still have operating agreements in which you have to
But-
abide
but-
by
but-
regardless of who.
But that's
owns.
stuff that you put in an easement and to that person because now you own all the stuff. It isn't saying,
I don't have to be so mean to Billy, but I can.
yeah.
So, okay, just to clarify a couple things. So this is, just to wrap this up a little bit, is the first question is, are you, if there was a compromise where the blue and the red meet, are you willing to allow that small parking lot? Because
Yeah, I don't think so.
because if you're not willing to allow that, then that's not a compromise. So then that does.
Well, the road is a compromise, and allowing them to use my trail is the compromise. But the parking, I have a problem because I don't want people camping there, and that's exactly what they will do.
But it would be a 3 slot that you could slot because
How big is that area?
well,
They're-
it's for 3 cars.
It's just as close for them to go down on Park on BLM, which is larger. It's
'Cause-
a larger area, and it's actually closer for them than to go down from the bottom and try to hike up.
Well,
So they've been hiking there anyways, and I have not been providing parking for them. They still do it.
But I guess this is what I'm asking is because
It's
the
doable.
county road came out, walked through a scenario, has given what I feel is a fair compromise and an opinion. I feel like the commission is willing to work, but there's got to be compromise on both sides. And maybe I'm speaking for myself, but I feel there's got to be some compromise on both sides. And if there's not, then how do we as a county back something where there's no compromise for both sides?
Well,
So,
that's what it is. That blue road, that whole, it's not there now.
but we're asking for
We're putting it in.
we're asking for a small 3-car parking lot that could be marked and could be to allow the public and then to fight that battle with the state. Because if that's not, if there's not a compromise, my thought is it's such an uphill battle with the state to fight if we're not all on the same page.
Trail is a compromise. I had to close that trail.
I don't know.
Because people were getting on, they were taking side-by-sides and motorcycles and going around all over the place. That's why it's a little hard to tell. So we had to close all of that. So when we put that trail in, I'm gonna build a fence on that too. I mean, it's all really expensive stuff to do. But if I have parking on my property, I think I should get the money for it.
Well, I guess
what
my
I think.
thing is, I
You know,
think
that's just how I feel about it.
I think you can have.
I think that's fair.
I agree with what you're saying, but at the same time, I feel like in order to mitigate the public and that, because I think you're going to have a much harder pushback from the public if we don't have some sort of a little compromise.
That's
But
fine. I know you guys.
that's just me speaking. I don't know, Commissioner Harvey,
For your
Commissioner
time,
Stubbs.
all of you. I really appreciate it, and it could be that it's just maybe in another 100 years somebody will figure out something to do with it so that it'll be nice. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Well-
I mean, I can fence it too.
Yeah, again, I would say that your battle is with the state.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and you're welcome to approach, and I don't think, and so the county, I think, would be willing to help you, you know, write a letter saying, you know, this would probably be in the best interest of the county, you know, when we get that point. But I think the work is gonna be on you to go to approach the state and,
Yeah. And how
And-
long is all this going to
oh, bureaucracy.
take? You know?
Yeah,
And it's already a
bureaucracy.
done deal. It's they stole it, they got it, I'm over it. So Mexican hat, I'm sorry. But
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah,
think you're,
Mexican hat is,
I think you can, it's still private property. You can charge people however you want, you know,
Well, I
if
can't
they're
keep
pulling
them.
off.
I'm afraid the
You
county
can
will
also
take
put
more.
up no trespassing signs
They are there.
and paint them if somebody's camping, call the sheriff's office. you
They
know.
are, it's all there, everything's been in place for several years like that. But, yeah, it's just, yeah, it's okay.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
I appreciate all of y'all had to do, but this is something that needs to be done like next week,
Yeah.
and I don't think that's gonna happen, so.
Okay. Any other
we'll
comments?
just Spencer off.
Any other comments?
So thank you for coming. And
Yes.
if you come up with something else that we can help, just Let us
Joy,
know.
how many miles is that south road?
I don't know. Altogether, I'm gonna have to put in 3 miles of fencing.
Yeah, I think that's your best option. I think you could take all the money you use to fight the state, you could spend that on fencing and take care of the problem. At least on the south road,
And then just close the campground down. Yeah.
or relocate it, you know.
Yeah, I'm just done. I already have all this stuff in those roads. That road that is in there, it's our road. We put camp spots off of it. So that means that I can't access, oh gosh, a lot of property. Can't even access our oil well. Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
Thank you for
Ugh.
coming.
All right. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
I need a motion to adjourn the work session.
Motion to adjourn.
A second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Thanks.